So while I test the Lego Mars 3D printing capabilities, which will take around 5 hours, I want to show how to make a technological mechanical warrior army. Well, what I want to do is not the typical red that you find in this type of army in Warhammer. I want to have a greenish glowing army, like they're all powered up by some gooey greenish substance. But I also want to have a steampunk team. So what I bought is a lot of Hot Wheels of different designs, and I'm gonna add them to the full design, as well as once I tested that the Lego Mars 3D printer is working properly and actually prints properly, I'm gonna start printing some more pieces for this model. So normally it's already a gigantic, cool looking model, but what I'm going to add to it is extra powers that you don't normally find in this. So the knight, the imperial knight is normally a heavy armored, heavy machine gun or melee type of robot. What I'm going to add to it is extra hands, so tentacles, a bit like Dr. Octopus, and wings, so he can fly. It will be kind of cosmetic because it doesn't really apply to the rules of Warhammer. And all these things will be also readily available to print in my files in CG Trader, as well as I'm going to open an Etsy account, and I'm going to sell the parts which I will print with the Lego Mars, and you can just directly order them. But anyway, I'm going to start now by doing a base coat painting of this, and normally you would do it in a dark color to make the metallic look of a robotic system like this, but I want it to be a greenish plus glowing type of design with metal and steampunk gears around. So what I'm going to start doing is paint it in a base coat of white, which will give it more of a glowing design than a darker base coat of dark. And I'm going to add some magnets to it so that you can just click together the pieces instead of having them glued together, and you can decide to put whichever weapon you want. So I started working on the base of the model, took a little break from working on the model itself. It's tiring, and it will take quite a while with all the tiny little details it has. Plus I still have to add some more aesthetic things and weapons with the 3D printer once it comes. The last model I managed to print with the resin printer was my Watcher model on a base with eggs and grass that I designed myself. But it didn't come out well because I forgot the supports. First time using a resin printer, I wasn't really much of an expert. So it came a bit flat at the top. What I did then, I used it as a casualty in my base. So the Imperial Knight looks like it's been walking around and crushing everything he sees. Like, it didn't really care that the Watcher was there, he just stepped on it and killed it and left the eggs without a mother. I guess they're mechanical eggs because a Watcher is mechanical, so the Watcher has been stomped on by the Imperial Knight, and he left a few orphan eggs behind, and the Imperial Knight keeps on walking on without even noticing what he did. Don't really know how I'm gonna position, maybe a bit more like that, yeah, like that, he's going that direction. So it gives a bit of character to whatever is happening on top of what I'm gonna add to the Imperial Knight. And hopefully, if I can glue this properly, it won't fall backwards because it's little bit unbalanced. Worst case scenario, I'll put something heavy under the base that makes it more balanced. Anyway, I'll keep on coloring and I'll let you see the next part. So I realized that before I had the noise from the desktop kind of disturbing the audio. Hopefully this time I managed to put a filter that doesn't allow it to happen. And getting back to the Imperial Knight, made some modifications to it. First of all, the base has been literally nailed to the knight, so it cannot move from base. Second thing, I painted the base black, thinking I would use this base to put the colors on top of it. But then I decided to have a burnt diorama. Basically, the knight has been passing through the forest, killing animals, and burning them with blue fire. This blue fire effect, the flames are basically green stuff, painted white, and then shades of blue until it's like a fire effect. I had the same effect also on guns. So here I added white as a base, the lighter shade of blue and darker as I went along. And I put the white on the parts that I thought were supposed to be brighter and the darker parts. Another thing I added on the entire model, basically it's all magnetized. All magnets, so whenever I remove and put something on, it goes. And as you might have easily noticed, the model is completely covered with gears. These are little gears that you can find on eBay or Amazon. And very versatile, very cheap. I mean, a pack of 200 was something like £5. And they add this technical look to the entire model. I also painted it, all the details in brass, in silver, little like red wires or yellow joints. But I then washed over it with a dark paint, so it would give this weathered and oily effect. I think it looks quite mechanically accurate. I mean, it was a robot. As I build robots myself, I would actually think that it's lubricated, it moves, has been through some degree of pain and usage. And the details, I also added some blue wires that pass through this little loopholes that I didn't even know what they were for. I couldn't find a reason to have them there. Probably they're for extra weapons I didn't put. It's all magnetized. This one can go on top as I showed. The entire body can be removed. Just click on this weapon, which is very heavy, was magnetized twice, so I have two very strong magnets holding it. So it's off, and even that is quite almost just enough to do it. And that's it. We'll see next what. with the printer. I'm gonna show you how to make this little fire bubbles that come out from the cannon and are still burning the ground. Basically, I get some green stuff and shape it random flame pattern. Just remember how a flame is. Something like that. Then I just stick them into the bottom here. Let's just see where I can put it. Now, once this is done, I'm just going to remove the top. It can work easily. So, once this is done, you could wait for it to dry and become harder, but I mean, I'm an impatient person. It will dry eventually with time. You just paint it white. You paint the entire thing. Doesn't matter if you spill over, it will still look like the fire is burning. Wood or roughly cover it completely in white. Make sure you don't leave any green part because that's gonna show later and kind of remove. This is fire coming out. Front. If it was hard, it wouldn't move, so that's not an advantage. Just I mean, the flame is random, so position because it doesn't. It's so much white for this model that I'm actually running out of it. Or tomorrow. Use it as a base because I prefer having a lighter base and dark. Because I tend to grind them a lot. If it's dark, they become so dark that the painting becomes kind of a useless thing. Won't be able to see any of the paint. The white piece, so they can color on top of it. Alright. Now get blue now and mix it with the white that's left. My paintbrush. Being careful not to mix hot. Just dip it once. Then here in the middle, light blue. This one again, it's random but more central. Middle going to the tip. Keep the white. Remember, the strokes have to be in one direction. Playing up, so I would suggest make sure that it's visible. If it's a very light blue, you keep on increasing it. So now the back and the front are bluish. Now you dip it in pure blue. Go and go. It will still mix with the white that you just placed in there, so it will still go a bit lighter. Effect that we're looking for anyway. And then towards the end, you do a few pure darker blue stripes going upwards. Here, don't dilute them. You have it. It's your flame. See from the back. The camera light kind of makes it a bit lighter than it is, but it is a very convincing blue flame. Make sure the flame starts from somewhere, so you don't want to break the illusion by not having something So yeah, it's much better like that. Things here. There you go, and everything's burning. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a couple more flames to the chimneys of the model up here. See how the effect looks like. If I like it, I'll keep it, otherwise I'll just remove them. assembling the entire robot and then slowly painting it. I'm doing the little flames blue and powering up areas of all the weapons in blue because I want it to have blue fire, like a magical type of fire. But as you can see, I've added my own 3D printed resin modifications. The 3D printer finally works properly. It's still working, actually works all the time and will eventually give me a headache. But at least I'll have all the modified models I want. By the way, I will put a link below for some of the parts that are custom made. I made them myself. And you can get them either on Etsy, 3D printed, or you can get the file on CG Trader and 3D print it yourself. So let me know if you want any of them. I'll print them immediately and send them to you. I'll keep on doing all the little details here and give you the final result soon. My design of cannon, claws and wings, which are supposed to be similar to the ones in Horizon Zero Dawn that some of the monitors have. If you can see them, I had a few problems attaching them because they're quite big and heavy. Next time I will make it a bit less filling. And they're very oily mechanics.